That's all you're getting. You know I detest the Politico. I'm only here as a favor to a friend in the White House. You know who you are. I detest the Politico. You're not going to get anything more from me than imminently.
I'm just doing my job.
The Trump administration lives in the real world because we're not utopianists and we're not human engineers. We're not some kind of pie-in-the-sky believers in utopia.
Dying. There's peace talks today in Istanbul. Should the president be there? You said yourself that there's only one man who can broker this deal, and it's President Trump.
At the end of the day, the final settlement will see my boss, President Trump, in the room sealing the deal.
Should he have been in the room today?
No, because we need to have all the parties decide. One of the parties is missing, right?
Well,
so there's no point.
President Putin would have gone if President Trump went.
We need to make sure that there's no intransigence from all sides involved. But you can rest assured that when the final ink is put on that piece of paper, President Trump will be the person, the man behind the art of the deal, who seals that deal and stops the meat grinder that is the war in Ukraine.
Why has the president not met with President Putin, given he said today nothing's going to happen until Putin and I get together?
Well, we can't force Putin to meet. We're not going to lasso him and pull him.
President Trump knows how to put pressure on. He can lasso in his own way.
Timing. Deals are all about timing. When the time is right, that's when the president is in the room with Putin. But my expectation is imminently.
What does imminently mean?
That's all you're getting. You know I detest the Politico. I'm only here as a favor to a friend in the White House. You know who you are. I detest the Politico. You're not going to get anything more from me than imminently.
On the table. Do you think that some of those regions in the Donbass that have been under Russian control, is that and should that be on the table as part of these negotiations?
So I know you're from the Donbass, and this is personal to you, but I will not comment. It would be incredibly reckless of me, and I told you outside that I will countenance maybe one question on Ukraine because I'm the Senior Director for Counterterrorism. So we're kind of exhausted that topic at this point, but I'll tell you this. We live in the real world. The Trump administration lives in the real world. We recognize the reality on the ground, number one, that's the beginning, because we're not utopianists and we're not human engineers. We're not some kind of pie-in-the-sky believers in utopia. We recognize the reality on the ground, and we have one priority above all else, whether it's the Middle East or whether it's Ukraine. It's to stop the bloodshed. Everything else comes after the bloodshed has been halted.